I was always told that God is not a man that he should lie. And how do we know that? Well, because it's in a book or compilation of books that are purported to be the Word of God, even though everybody knows that every book of the Bible was written by men who lie. So, what does that mean about God? Does God lie? God only knows.
Because let's face it, Aaron, you can never know that you know a damn thing, not even the smallest fact, until you know everything and know that you know everything. You cannot be sure 100% this phone is black. How do you know that someone else this phone thinks it's red? But our views are synchronized so that it can give the illusion that he thinks it's black like you do when he really thinks it's red. When he sees black, it looks like the color black. How do you know that? How do you know? How do you know this universe is not a simulation? You don't. Can you be 100% sure? Even Matt Dillahunty says he's not 100% sure there's no God. So unless you truly know everything, you cannot really know that you know a damn thing. Not a damn thing. Well, Aaron, it seems to me you got a choice to make, and your eternal destiny will depend upon the choice that you make. You can either choose to follow your flawed, imperfect knowledge, wisdom, thinking you know it all, when you don't and you never will. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. You can either choose to go your way and end up dying because of it. When you're on the deathbed and you're saying to yourself, I didn't know jack shit. Now I'm going to hell. Or you can choose to believe God when everything else seems to be pointing away from God. And trust in God and trust yourself to God. And go to heaven. And God will tell you the complete truth when you get there. It's your turn. It's your choice, bitch. Human beings are stupid, especially today. I'm gonna give you a prime example of human ignorance, pure stupidity of humans getting the equation totally wrong because they are too stupid to see all the fucking variables needed to solve their equation appropriately. Let me get the hell out of the way and let me...
After God created everything, He said, "Behold, it is very good." There were no flaws in the creation of Eve.
So why did she sin?
That would be like saying, did Chrysler create a car that could be driven and a person get behind the wheel and drive it off a cliff? What was wrong with the car? Well, nothing would be wrong with the car. God endowed Eve with the ability to choose between right and wrong. Now that capacity is perfect.
But why did she choose wrong? Why did she blow it? If she was perfect, why did she blow it?
She had the perfect capacity to choose right and wrong. Now that would be like saying...
But why did she choose wrong? Why? What was in her that made her choose wrong instead of right? Where did that come from? That flaw of perdition.
And this is with all due respect, but I would say, what is in you that would make you choose the wrong idea and adhere to atheism?
Well, then if God...
That last illustration is stupid. There is a difference between Eve and us today. We got a sinful nature. That's why we can choose sin. Eve didn't. But let's dissect these points. And let's set your minds at ease. And let's clear this shit up. So that you have no excuse They claim that there is no God, because if there's a God, why would he create so broken a system? I heard a Jewish rabbi explaining the creation, and behold, it was very good. When God was creating the creation, it always says, after he created something, and God saw that it was good. But when he had created man, and behold, it was very good. And the rabbi explains it like this: because man had the choice to choose between God or evil. And this was very good in the sense that if man chose God, this would glorify God as truly being all that is needed. This would be the supreme act of worship for God. When you had a choice to choose between evil, selfishness, and getting your own glory, and God and his glory, and you chose God. And this was very good. So if Eve was perfect, why was she able to sin? And he goes and launches into about Christ are building the perfect car, and you taking the car and using it to get in a wreck. Dumbass, y'all motherfuckers never read. You need to read books from all types of sources, not just in your philosophical or Christian vein, for fear of reading something that will make you doubt your paradigm worldview. Have you ever read the book The Spiritual Man by Watchman Nee? He says that when God created Adam and Eve, they were neither holy nor sinful, but innocent. They were innocent. Do you get this? They were innocent, but they were not yet holy. Holy meaning totally devoted to God. So devoted to God that if you had the choice to turn from God, you would find it is impossible to turn away from God, because your love for God would make it so that committing a sin against God would be harder to do than it would be to slit your neck open from ear to ear with a knife. You could use your free will and cut your throat, but everything in you would not let you do it. Paradox, son. Paradox. You could, but you couldn't do that. Because your knowledge of God would be so complete that you realize that to go against this is certain death. God alone is life. All else is death. Your love for God would be such that you could not bear the thought of being away from God, who loves you also. So Adam or Eve had a choice. They were innocent. They could choose to pass the test and choose God and what God says. Even though Adam and Eve presumably could see God, and there's nowhere in that Bible where it says they we're able to see God. So there's nowhere that you Christians read too much in this story. Christians say that every evening God came to talk to Adam and Eve. No, they just assume that because one time God, in the cool of the day, was looking for Adam. Even if they could see God back then, they still had to have faith that what God was telling them was the truth. Eat of this fruit and you shall surely die. The serpent told them, you shall not surely die. If you eat of this fruit, you will be like gods, knowing both good and evil. Now, had they believed God and had faith in God's word and chosen God, they would have passed the test, and they would have become holy to God of their free will, and they would have gained the full knowledge of just who God is. So you see, they had an incomplete knowledge of God in the garden. The only thing they knew about God was what God chose to reveal to them. And God chose to reveal to them just enough so that they could make a true choice between good and evil, between God and themselves. Now, had Adam and Eve chosen the right thing, they would have been glorified with the full knowledge of God, full holiness. They would have been totally devoted to God by their choice, and never sinned, and been incapable of sinning afterwards. Not because they were robots, but because what they would be shown about the knowledge of God and the love of God would make it to them, the idea of sinning against God would be totally antithetical to everything they were in their being. Y'all people are stupid. You know that? Let's recap this. Adam and Eve, it was very good because Adam and Eve had a chance to make a choice between God and evil, and the potential of them choosing God, when given the choice to choose between good and evil. But to God, a very, very good prospect. Had Adam and Eve were innocent. They were not perfect. Adam and Eve were not sinful, but they were not holy. Just innocent. But when they fell, they became sinful. Are you getting this, or am I not making myself clear enough? I'm not the one who's brilliant. I'm just not too intellectually lazy, nor too afraid of reading things that might contradict my paradigm. To read books by atheists, Christians, Jews, Hindus. See, I read all around, and the reward for this is I get the answers that you motherfuckers totally miss and lack. You choosing instead to bury your heads like stupid ostriches, and you choosing rather to bury your heads like stupid ostriches in your theology, your paradigms, your worldview, what makes you comfortable. You pushes and wushes and wimps. I look upon you with contempt and compassion and disgust. Human beings are stupid. Y'all motherfuckers are stupid. Don't feel bad. There's so much I want to learn. I so badly want to learn, but nobody will dialogue with you so I can learn more. So that's why I have contempt for y'all and disgust for y'all. Not because I think I'm better than you, because nobody would care enough to talk to me so I can learn even more than I know. Because what if I'm wrong? Those 4 words always dog me. What if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong? Shit, you motherfuckers are stupid and unloving. If God doesn't judge the human race, He'll owe Sodom and Gomorrah an apology. The human race is disgusting and contemptible and evil, and full of hate and lacking love, and totally indifferent towards me. And indifference is the greatest hate. Come on, finish the fucking video, you son of a bitch. Jesus fucking Christ. Like God asked Job and his friends, who is this that darkeneth counsel by words without knowledge? This man is muddying the waters by spewing ignorance of the subject matter and spewing forth bullshit. Eve had the perfect capacity to choose between good and evil, between God and evil. No, she did not. Because if she had she'd have chosen God. No. Eve and Adam were given just enough information about God to be able to make an informed, mature choice between good and evil. But Eve and Adam were not given all the facts about who God is, how great God is. Just enough so that they were given just enough information so that they could truly be enticed by evil, but have just enough information about God so that they could, in order to choose God, they would have had to sacrifice their own egos, their own reason, their own rationale in favor of God. And to do this would require 2 things. they would have to have loved God completely, and they would have had to have faith. You see, that's what faith is. When you sacrifice the very best you got, your reason, your rationale, your very beings in favor of God. And this is what holy means. Totally devoted to God, to the point where you're realizing to sacrifice yourself. Like Paul says in Romans 12, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God. Notice in the Old Testament, God always demanded the best. That's what he wants from you. And it takes faith to believe in God, when all else and everything is pointing away from God.
Love me, but instead you stood above, you spit me out, you kicked me down. I hate you.